I've got a bundle of Y lead, XLR Y lead. So I'll connect these onto the back of the, they'll connect in, the female there, that'll connect into the, on the THXs for the LCR and left center, right center channels. So then I can use the other spare channel that I'm not using, and then I've got an additional parametric, another 9 band of parametric EQ filters that I can use. Yeah, don't know why I didn't see that a while back when I wired this all up differently months and months ago. I think it was early this year. I can't remember when. Maybe it was last year. Yeah, so connect that. Yeah, job done, sorted, cheap. Gosh, the times I've been back here. I hope it works. Okay, I was a bit sceptical whether this would work or not. It seems to. So I'm using channel B, which is, typical LCR. A, left, B, centre, C, right. And my left centre, right centre's up here on channel A and channel C. Haven't tested that yet, but on channel testing centre channel. Unmute, see? And sum them up, obviously. Let's increase sound pressure level out with a little extra more dB, but can't get to what's the word, overconfident. The same things apply. Of course, the PEQ. Let me just check the PEQ. It's turned off on this side, so if I turn it on and off, probably hear that sound changing. And then go back, unmute this. It's obviously increased. And take the PEQ off on channel 4, put it back on. Go to channel 3, turn on the PEQ. Scroll down here. Go to a band pass filter. Widen the Q out a little bit. Just for demonstration purpose, I'll turn up a frequency at 1.44 kHz, and the frequency level should go up. And change the Q band width. It works. Wow, great. Let's give me an additional 9 more PEQ filters to use. Because this was originally, I was running it as left, center, right for LF, HF, LF, HF, LF, HF, and then the same for the left center, right center, LF, HF, LF, HF. But channels 1, 3 and 5 and 1 and 5 up here, they're being not in use, and I'm always running into, mute that, always running into the same snag, like, oh crikey, I've just about exhausted all the PEQ filters now. I think, damn, maybe I shouldn't have undone the DEQ, but the rack was getting so full. Now I thought I'd trade off, because I was running into other things like signal noise ratio and think, why is there so much damn hiss being injected, or so much hit, you got to look at all these components one by one by one by one by one. Put them through an RTA and look at the FFT, or was it the FTT? Look at the, see how much noise there's going on down there, and comparing each unit, and then you'd be able to determine, oh right, yeah, this one's kind of a little bit, that's strange, noisier than the other one. And some of the DEQs do have some typical hiccup faults where one channel could kind of go a little bit strange, and it's something to do with maybe a digital clocking circuit or such. It's doing something very unusually with the frequency, particularly when you do a frequency sweep, and you should get a nice light smoothness. And what I was seeing on one channel was kind of like it had EQ filters already adjusted into it, but there wasn't any EQ filters, and it was kind of going all like that. I'm thinking, that's weird, that's strange, can't figure that. It should be nice and smooth. And it was going, strange. And it was only on one channel. It was only on one channel of the DEQ. The other channel was okay. So, yeah, it can have hiccups with... I'm not sure how that solved that problem. What if it's a total integrated processing chip that does channel left or right or whatever? I don't know. Or it might be another component on the circuit board that may be kind of faulty and could be desoldered and put a new one on and problem solved. I don't know, but okay, great. Now I've got some more PEQ filters. Maybe I could use the rest of those down for the bass region on the full spectrum. Otherwise, I would really prefer doing the EQ individually for the low frequencies, the LCRs, left the low frequency, and then one EQ for the high frequency for the horns, and then have a finalizer EQ for left, center, right, to make some finalizing. So, because you've got to remember the characteristic of the bass driver with the crossover, with the frequency, electronically frequency sweep, it's nice and it's perfect. And when you look at with the microphone, when it looks at it and sees, and it's like it's picking up this tone's a little bit higher than the other, and so on and so on and so on. And it could be standing wave because the microphone's close, and still the signal is still going down that way, up that way, up. It's going every other direction, and it could still be, it's doing something strange, yeah. Or maybe it's not. And the only other way to test that theory is, put a bass driver specifically, like locate it in the middle, and then take out each other bass driver from other, put them in, test frequency sweeps, and then look at the overlays, and then okay, this one here has got a slight, it's okay, there's nothing really wrong, defective, it's just one of these little hickeys, and it could be corrected with EQ. So yeah, you probably see some of the, it's got it's a bit of a bump there. That's weird. But that could be corrected. So it's not a big deal. Anyway. But the big deal is how many PEQs can I really use? Because if everything is... Let's just check everything, turn it all on. Because you've got a thing called free space. 44%, and that gradually gets less and less and less and less. I really do not understand why they made it with something like that, like a CPU or something, like it's running out of bandwidth or something, and memory RAM or whatever. Why didn't they design it so that everything on this unit, including dynamic EQ, everything, including crossovers, because when you use crossovers, they take on, you get a reduction, the percentage starts going down and all that. They should have designed it so everything turned on, and you still got at least maybe, I don't know, 20% free or something. So, but when it gets really, really low, hot on the, almost down to zero, and I've had it down to zero. And I've even managed to trick by quickly getting another PEQ filter slotted in. And you've got to be really quick. But the problem there being, it's going to have some digital noise artifact. It's going to have an artifact, sort of something strange going on, because you're pushing the unit beyond its tolerance level, and it starts to sort of like, yeah, I can hear that. And if I trade off a few frequencies, and then it's like, okay, so it's a little bit better. But I got a little bit fed up with it after a while, using it as an actual crossover, because it was just taking up too much. It was just making some strange artifacts. I can't figure out why. I couldn't figure out how to get round it, and I just thought, sod it, connecting it and get back up to a THX sound system, and there's less artifact. It's like, the trade-offs with our passive crossover, active crossover, DSP crossover. That's DSP. And then active crossovers are the ones where you got the dials and you turn them, etc., and press that, and those are the active ones. And I think there's also another one as well, which I think JBL did, where you got the crossovers and you pull them out. They're like cards, and you pull them out and you push them in. So you got different crossover frequencies, like 800, 500. I'm not sure if there's any others, but you get those units. They sell for ridiculous money on eBay. I don't know why. The things are dinosaurs, but the stupid prices on them, really. Might as well just get a THX 3417, because they got pretty good steep crossover frequency for the bass on the crossover, which I think is something like 35 dB down. Most typicals, 24 dB. Or you can go 48 dB. So with the DCX, you go minus 6 dB, Butterworth minus 6, Butterworth minus 12, Butterworth minus 18, Butterworth minus 24, Butterworth minus 48 dB. Bezel, I think, is 12 dB, 18, 24, and 48. No, I don't think it has got 48 on it. Or does it? Can't remember. Let's have a look. What's it do? So I don't use the crossovers now on this. I like to because you do get flexibilities. Yeah, butter. Can't see bezel, so that's Link Riley. That's bezel. Yeah, bezel doesn't do 48. You can see the slopes if I adjust it back a little bit. And that's essentially like a brick wall. 48 dB. What's that? Sometimes with passive crossovers, you only get an option of, like, say, it might be 12 dB at most, I think. Most common ones, I think, minus 6. Depending on what frequency divisions have been done for the crossover. I think on the surrounds, I think they're about 12 dB. So any bass region, so like crossing over on the bass, I could put those active, I could make these active crossover if I want to, but it just gets pricier. That means then I've got to have more individual amplifiers for the bass. But do I do all the bass channels, wire them all up to the same amplifier? Probably not. Probably have them all individual. But having it all individual just makes it more pricier. But but results should be better. Yeah, it's working it all out. I hate this hobby. I really do hate this hobby. I'm sick of it. Sick of it. Anyway. So. Fingers. So I've got a little bit more bands there. It depends what I want to use them for. Do I want to use them for the HF? You know, otherwise I could just wire in the DEQs. Wire in the DEQs. So I just racked them there. So they're just there at the moment. They're not powered up, nothing. I don't know what I want to do. Do I want to move all the players into here? Not that I'll use all of the players. I'd only use a few of them because there's only so many HDMIs. Actually, you can easily extend the HDMI. To tell the truth, you can actually extend it. So if you only got eight HDMI inputs, you can actually extend that to maybe 16. It is doable. But how many people are going to be running 16 players in the home that are mostly HDMI and as well as maybe Laserdisc players, VHS, DVHS, Betamax, maybe, how many people are going to be running all that? Very few. I'm running quite a lot of formats here, so I'm pretty much catered for all the kind of film demand. So you know what the audience say, we demand Star Wars originals. You've got to give them the originals and you got a lot of happy faces. So it's getting some cable, connecting up and then bringing it up to the THX so it connects on to one of these points at the back. Very messy back here, so I've got some cable management to probably sort this out, but I've got to motivate myself ready to do everything. I'm going to redo all these cables here and here. I'm going to redo these. I think these ones here. So I've got some cable because these cables are a little bit short. This one a little bit long and I want them tucked in a little bit more tight and going down on the inside of the cabinet, and then take all these powered lights off and line them down, the couple of them down this side and maybe a couple down this side, but locate them carefully because they're in the way. That's just for the surrounds, height 1 and 2 and 3, the expansion. So I just want to, these points here, there they are. And no, it's up here, crossover in insert point, crossover, what's it say? Crossover card. Yeah, these. So if I remove the resistor, I go an input and then got an output, and then I can put in another theoretically. I should be able to put these one of these in theoretically. But I've got to look at the diagram again for this. So I'm not sure if it just goes over into the base region as well, or which is partly up here. So if it goes in up there, then it's going to go into there. So you bass and treble all that, your main level here, and then you adjust your HF horn here, and then you got the up here you got the adjustments for focus. See, HF, L, H and L, not LL, you know, H there, right, and LE, that's left extra or left center. And then you got the high frequency, low frequency adjustment. Those are to adjust so that you look at the amplifier signal and get all these all the same, and then the HF all the same. So when any of these are adjusted, you know, they're going to be slightly different, they're going to be the opposite. So then you readjust. So you look at the amplifier return, and then you know, okay, everything's spot on. And when you go processor, you know, processor, the levels will be controlled on here, up here. These are basically crossover and preamplifiers. And then you've got your monitor to go through each channel, listen, does it sound the same? Because it should sound the same. Once that's done and everything's done with the microphone placement and everything checked through, days of work, not auto EQ, done in 10 minutes, and then it still sounds terrible. Need to get a new edge foam surround for this. That's not a big deal. It's not too bad when you consider. It's not too bad. It still works, but it does need replacing. But it's not bad considering that's 1987 with the original THX badge, whereas the other ones were the other way around. A little bit larger with the THX logo, but that's the original ones. That one there is a very early. This would have been in the UK somewhere. I'm not sure which cinema this would have come out of. It's possible it could have come from the Empire Leicester Square, the Warner West End, UCL High Wycombe. Where else? Not really sure of any other cinemas, because unless they were some screening rooms, it could have been. But that's one of the very early ones. Not the earliest, but one of the earliest, and it still works. The only thing is upkeeping. I might change the power supply transformer thing inside, because that, I think, is getting a little bit jaded, and that's an easy thing to replace by just getting a new, you know, one and just fitting it in, as long as it's the same 240 voltage, or it's got to be a multi voltage, 120, 240, and then output power, can't remember if it's 12 or 14 volt or 15. It's got to be one of those, and then it should work. So that's that for now. I'll just go on to the next stage of what I'm doing.